Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. I've got two barns to move. Well, actually two little sheds. And to do that, I need to have something under them. I've tried just towing them on the rails that are mounted on the bottom of the frame, you know, the frame rails. But they're not set up for towing it on. When they brought in the big barn, they picked it up with a forklift and drove it around using the little forklift, special built forklift for moving those buildings. I think I have a video of it. I'll put a link to it in the description. It was quite a deal. Nice little tractor, but they want a ton of money to move anything. I only have to move it across the yard. It's not like I got to take it somewhere across town. I just have to move it across the yard. Now that's the big building. The little red and white barn over there, I moved that with a tractor. I just bolted a couple of boards to the side of it because it was so weakened by its age that it wouldn't hold up. Since then, I've gone through and rebuilt the walls and put new studs in and fixed all kinds of things on it. But it's served its purpose. And now I have a big new workshop and I want to have the little barn go to somebody that needs it. So I'm going to be building a stone boat. Well, it's not really for hauling stones, but we called it that when we were making them for the farmers. Some of my friends were farmers and we made some things like that. Need to have something wide enough to support the building and smooth on the bottom and some good place to attach to it so I'm not hooking onto the building and pulling chunks off the building. I want to have the building right on a sled. Now these 4x6s, now you know they're nominal because they're planed down to a certain size. But these 4x6s should be more than enough to support the building. And I'm going to put cross beams, these 2x4s, between the two of them. They have to be about 4 foot wide on the inside. That way they'll fit the little building and they'll fit the big building. I want to have enough width so it doesn't rock back and forth. I want it to set underneath the building and actually support the building. So to make that happen, I'm building these. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to cut these off at 3.5. So it's 4 foot plus 7. Now these are old pallet boards because, you know, pallet boards. They're not much use for anything else. And I've used them for rough structures and all kinds of things. This is going to be a permanent piece. I'm going to keep this around for a while. I don't expect to have to move a whole lot of things, but once you got them built and you got a place to put them, it's a good idea to just keep it around. .7, dead bang on. Cut these off, I'm going to be using the $5 Milwaukee circular saw. If it had been running when I brought it home, it would have been $5. As it was, I had to put a trigger switch in it, and I think I might have damaged that when I brought it home and tried it with a DeWalt battery. But in any case, Cost me $5 at the restore. I put $30 into a switch, and then I put another probably $60 into a battery and a charger. If I'd had Milwaukee tools to start with, it would have cost me about 35 bucks. Because this wood is in such rough shape, I want to protect my hands a little bit. So I'm going to wear these leather gloves while I'm moving these pieces of wood around. Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work that way. That's better. I wouldn't say it's the Titanic. I hope not. But should do well enough to haul that little barn. I think I'm going to have to extend the rails to haul the big barn, or put a second set of rails in the back. Sounds like a lot of trouble. I might just want to do one attach. Might want to attach some longer rails to the back of this. I've got more 4x6. But in any case, I've got a stone boat. I got a lead on the thing. I've got it braced pretty well. If I get it up underneath that little barn and back about 2 foot from the front, that should set it in the center and balance out pretty well. The barn's 10 foot long, and this is about 7. So should be okay. Got enough breadth on the thing. I didn't want to have the stone boat too long because then it won't turn. And the tractor will haul it, but if it gets too much side load, it'll tip things over and it'll be a big mess. So we're going to try this, see how it works. I've been wanting to move that barn now for almost 3 years because it's going out and some lucky winter is going to pick it up. And have it as their very own. Well, it's been a busy hour and a half. If you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.